is the Sterling vs. Podcast, here to inform and entertain the Sonic fan in you. Welcome and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. This is the Sterling vs. Podcast, here to inform and entertain the Sonic fan in you. Welcome, everyone. I'm Silver
Please
Ron.
enjoy the show.
Yes, this is my co-host, Emerald Lance. So, Lance, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, too. Are you excited about this show?
Little bit.
Little bit?
Yeah, I am, actually.
All right, that's good. That's good. So, want to do a little intro?
You first. Age before beauty, I always say.
Wait a minute. Anyway, let's see. I'm Silva. I've been a Sonic fan most of my life. Why? Well, played the games when I was young, and I just thought that blue guy is one super cool dude. Favorite memory of mine was learning how, like, wow, how's this guy's going so fast? And now I realize, well, Sega sure did their job, convincing us how great their Genesis was with their blast processing and whatnot, with their supersonic speeds. Did you like the Genesis, Lance?
I liked it okay. I actually agree that the Super Nintendo was more powerful, but I think there were better titles on the Genesis, like Gunstar Heroes, for instance, Vector Man, Ristar, just better titles. They did more with what they have than Nintendo. Nintendo was given more, and Sega, I think, did a better job with what little they already had.
So, Lance, do you want to tell us a little about yourself?
I am a Sonic fan since 1991, which is a lot of people find hard to believe. I remember the good old days when he was Dr. Robotnik in the West. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of glad that Sega's decided to kind of fuse all the localizations together, but I kind of would like to see Dr. Robotnik come back and them calling him Eggman, because as an insult, that would be kind of cool. I was around then when it was an insult as opposed to his real name. My first memories of Sonic were wondering when I'm going to beat the fat guy to release the pink bunnies. I wanted to let the bunnies out of the little capsule. That was my whole goal. I didn't get the Chaos Emeralds or none of that. I just wanted to get the bunnies out. Then when I finally did beat the game, I was wondering why the fat guy still looked like he was winning, juggling those emeralds. So Sonic was confusing for me at first, to say the least. And since then, I've been keeping up with everything until recently. I've been playing all the games, even the Game Gear games that not as many people have heard of, like Tails Sky Patrol. I played that. That was me. Also, I've also been doing the one with the research for the hacking community, because Silva's lazy.
Oh, I'm lazy? Alright then. I'm lazy.
Silva doesn't think the hacking community has anything to do with
I think it has everything to do with everything. I just, well, let's get our priorities straight.
Talk about?
I want to talk about what's kept you in the Sonic fandom so long. I mean, as a kid, you're going to understand why, you like the games, but what's kept you in till now? What have you liked about Sonic? Because, interests change. I'm sure you've changed since you were, a wee tyke, so what kept you in?
Just, I guess interests might change, but, he's changed a lot, too. Not so much in appearance, just as much in how the games are played.
Yeah.
The games reflect an older audience. Well, not so much today. Not so much today after Yuji Naka left, but I don't want to get into that just yet. For the most part, the games reflect the changes that have been made by the audiences themselves.
Well, that's pretty cool. It's deep. For me, let's see, what's kept me in? Well, since I've always loved Sonic Speed, that's what kept me in until around Sonic Adventure. Then I kind of fell and wanted more. And then they gave me more. They gave me a dozen characters. Back then, that was pretty spiffy, because, I play as Sonic. Well, that's all great, but now I get to play as Tails, Knuckles, Amy, whatnot. Wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I mean, play as Big, might as well be playing Sega Bass Fishing, which was coincidentally out at the time. Yep, Sega sure knows how to cut corners. But, enough about the past. It's a new year, we're a new show, everything's fresh. I smell minty. How do you think this new year is gonna shape up to be?
Project Needle Mouse.
Project Needle Mouse.
That's all I've got to say. I don't need to know more. All the newer fans are complaining about how it's going to be in 2D. All the old fans are complaining about how the graphics are supposedly going to be in 3D. The only people who, I think, from what I've seen, who are actually wanting the game to come out are the people who really, really like Sonic, will buy anything Sonic related just because it's Sonic related, you know. Of course, I'm not saying that the game's going to be bad. Myself, I'm waiting for the game to come out. I want the game to come out. I'd like to play it. I have it being awesome. Awesome possum, one might say. I have it being incredibly great. Similar to Sonic Rush, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's just Sonic games. That's just the Sonic game. There's a whole bunch of games coming out this year. Just a whole bunch of games. They're all looking interesting, but as far as this next year, I think I'm waiting most for Needle Mouse.
Interested in maybe that Sonic and Sega Superstars Racing?
Ryo Hazuki, yeah.
Okay.
If they made a Shenmue 3, I'd be...
Sure, plenty of us would be.
Yes.
So you gonna need it for the 360?
Yeah, because, well, I mean, I don't have any of the other ones.
Oh, I'm getting it for the Wii. Yeah, I know. Oh, well, no. I think I see a PS3 in my future.
Do you?
Yes.
You're going to be playing Sega Superstar Racing on the PS3.
Yep.
And you're going to be playing Needle Mouse on the PS3 too, aren't you?
Well, we don't know what it's going to be released for.
I'm having it. They said high definition. The only high def consoles are 360 and PS3.
Well...
Then the trailer did say high def, didn't it?
No. It said a home 2D adventure, and that's it.
Maybe I'm thinking of Sonic 2 HD. So it didn't say high def.
Nope.
If it didn't say high def, then we don't know what it can be released for then. It could be the Atari for all we know.
It certainly can. But you know, that's 2010. Let's take a quick look back the past 10 years, because we can't just brush off the last decade. That's most of our lives. So let's talk about maybe our top 10 Sonic games. Top 10 of the decade.
Top 10.
Number 10, Sonic Advance. I think that's a pretty good choice for number 10. But of course, number 9, Sonic Battle. I'm just telling you, man. Sonic Battle, pretty epic. Play as all your favorite Sonic pals. Though, I wish Shadow wasn't so broken. Just putting that out there. Sonic Riders number 8, a spiritual sequel of Sonic R. Sonic on boards. It's fun. Number 7, Sonic Unleashed for the Wii. Keep it in mind, guys, it's for the Wii. I didn't play the 360 version, but I'm sure if I did, it would be higher. Of course, Sonic Unleashed, not as amazing on the Wii as it was for the 360, but it made the list. All right, I'm not gonna bash it. Number 6, Sonic Gems Collection. Yeah, I know. It's a bit unfair, including games that aren't released in the last 10 years in this list, but I'm counting Sonic Gems as a software released in the last couple years, so it's its own thing. It has new content, unlockables and whatnot. I'm sure Lance disagrees with me on putting that on the list. I know you do.
Quite a bit, yes, actually.
Oh, okay. And number 5, Sonic Rush Adventure.
What's so great about Rush Adventure as opposed to Rush? What was the difference?
It stayed true to the name. It was an adventure because you literally moved around as opposed to just clicking on a map and go to the next level, which was what Sonic Rush did. But Adventure, they did it, how should I put this? They did it Zelda style. They'd draw your path on the map, you go. Simple gimmick, it got me. It was just so cool. Because, like Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, you got to, enjoy the ride, pretty much. Actually, I believe, what was the one for the DS? I'm thinking Phantom Hourglass, because on that one, you get to draw a little map on the bottom of the screen, you go, and got to not just skip the scene, but you actually rode along and actually, it was like its own level, and it's always different, always randomized for the adventure, for the Sonic Rush Adventure. And of course, with that, the special stages were much more difficult to get to, and to me, definitely more difficult to get And with that, all the missions, the extra stuff, it was just amazing. You get to build an island, collect stuff, whatnot. It was definitely up there. But number 4 on my list, Sonic Heroes.
Heroes was good.
Heroes was good. It felt like the next adventure game, of course, without the adventure. But I guess what drew me in was 12 characters I get to play as, all different powers and whatnot on teams. It felt sort of like a race of sorts. The story sort of felt like a race. You know, a race to get to whatever they were trying to get to, whether it be Eggman or a local chili dog stand or whatnot. The levels were just, they weren't like the past adventure levels that were much, the colors were kicked up, the size of them, it was just...
See, I gotta disagree with you on the levels, though. The thing I hated most about Sonic Heroes, it felt old schooly. It was really nice. It was really cool in that department, but the levels, it's kind of like they played themselves. All you had to do was jump on a few enemies every now and then hold forward all day. There was no real maneuverability in it. It was just the level controlled your character while you held forward.
Anyway, number 3, Sonic and the Secret Rings. First of the storybook series. When I played this, I was like, wow, this is... Alright, maybe not at first. I didn't think he was all that fast. But the concept of leveling up a ring, that too was kind of like, whoa, what is this? What is this? But, you know, the more I played, the more I learned about the mechanics and how strange they were too. But, you know, as soon as you are at that level where you're truly comfortable, your skills are all at decent levels, and Sonic does get fast.
Yeah.
As a Sonic game, it was fast, and you went places really fast. And the cutscenes themselves. I mean, even though they were just drawings, they were pulled off brilliantly.
Yeah, that was cool.
So seeing that was just like, wow, you know. Let's see, number 2. Already at number 2, Sonic Rush. It's pretty epic. I don't know where to begin. First Sonic DS game, and it just wowed me. I mean, the speed, the graphics were great, cutscenes were simple, you know, they didn't really try to go out of its way to push the DS, because, you know, then gosh knows it probably wouldn't have gotten done, but simple cutscenes, that's all I wanted, not too many voices, and that was my first DS game. I got it with my DS, and I played it, and I was like, this is just amazing. Didn't have to bring back the classic playstyle to impress me, because it did that and more. Chaos Emeralds, special stages amazed me. The bosses amazed me. The move sets, the colors, the level layout, it was just that great of a game, and it just threw me back that, you know, Sega could do this. They can handle, you know, the DS at least. And now we're on number 1. It's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Everyone's favorite game is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Well, not necessarily. Because this is Battle. People consider it way different from the original. I call shenanigans and say, you know what, they're the exact same thing. We could talk about control schemes all day long, but in the end, they're essentially the same game. Let's see. What do I love about this? Well, everything, really. Pretty much picked the best of what Sonic Adventure is and made it better. Took out the adventure feel, that was a bummer. But storyline was much darker, or just as dark. I mean, we're not talking angsty
Edgar Allan Poe or anything.
Yeah, but we're talking about, you know, Shadow doing his, you know, his spiel, trying to take over the world by Eggman as usual. Games after that, I have to say, have changed, and most of which...
For better or for worse.
Yeah, in just about every aspect. So, Lance, you wanna...
Yeah.
Give us your
I'll make my list short and sweet. Not a lot of people like Shuffle, but that's going to be where I start my list on top 10. A lot of people think it was just a rip-off of Mario Party, but it had its own nice little niches, you know. Really, really cool. It was original in some senses. I think it made some good...
Cell shading.
Good cell shading was the only game I saw cell shading in, for one. I love cell-shaded games.
Me too.
Right. Number 9, I guess it's Battle. I really liked the customization you could use with Emerald. I thought Sega was kind of lazy with making all the emeralds green. They could have just colored the different emeralds. I mean, I know it wasn't really green just in the games, it just looked green, but that's just laziness. Same reason Omega Zero and Mega Man 03 doesn't look like Zero originally. It looks like the new Zero. It's just laziness. But other than that, Emerald was the selling point for me in Sonic Battle.
One thing though I didn't like, which I still can't really fully understand, is the ultimate moves. Completely broken and available to the user, yet nearly impossible to get. And difficult to 100% really. Have you 100%ed all the cards?
Actually, I have, yeah. Okay, number 8. Gem. Honestly, I don't approve of having a whole bunch of old games before the decade released and then being called a new game.
It's called a compilation. That in itself is new.
Well, I mean, if the original was released before the decade, I'm not counting it. But I have to count this one because Gems took all the obscure Sonic games, right? As well as some of the not so obscure ones like Sonic R, the original birthplace of Tails Doll, and Sonic CD, where a lot of old school fans say that is the best game. So, I mean, it brought out a whole bunch of games. A lot of people who say that they were Sonic fans, including myself, hadn't played before Gems. I thought it was real nice. Sure, Sonic CD played just like if Sonic 1 was a puzzle. I hated Sonic CD, I'll be honest. I didn't like it at all. But I'm glad that they released it for the newer generations.
Yes.
Number 7. Rush Adventure. If you're just playing them back to back, you can't really tell, other than the difference between Rush and Rush Adventure is you draw where you're going to go, right? If you're playing it back to back, I'm talking about the fine points in the programming. They took everything, just about everything, and made it. They tweaked it to just be just a little bit better, including the trick system was pretty cool. They revamped the trick system so that it actually ranked you on stars. The more tricks you could pile up as opposed to just giving you points. So that was cool.
I don't know if they fix this, but there is a way to pretty much break the system score-wise, because you could, I don't know if you know this trick, you can start off a level, do as many tricks as possible, max is 20,000 points, I think, and then die, restart the level. You keep those points, which is strange, because those 20,000 points can transfer over to, you getting as many rings as possible. Go and just blast through the level. You don't have to worry about tricks afterwards because you max out your points. Then you could essentially get 1,100,000 points in the end. Wait, I'm counting that wrong. So,
don't jinx it. Let's keep tricks like that open for Needle Mouse. Anyways, the next one, I guess number 6 was Advance. A lot of people are saying Advance 2 and 3. I think the first one was great. The first one was my favorite of the series because it showed that 2D games can still work in the new environment where 3D dominates. Moving on with the list. Next item is, Rush. Rush was pretty okay. Rush was basically the same thing as Rush Adventure. It's higher up on my list though because it shows the same thing that Sonic Advance does, is that Sonic can still be in 2D especially and on a handheld that 3D is capable of. Heroes is my number 4 or number 5. Heroes is up there. Storyline, I like the storyline. I like how it felt similar to the old Sonic games.
Metal Sonic comes back was pretty awesome.
Metal Sonic comes back, and he gets uber awesome.
Except no one questions why Shadow's back until the end. We're like, wait a minute, Shadow's back.
Yeah, no one even said Shadow's back. There were a lot of theories about how Sonic Heroes takes place sometime before Shadow dies or something. It was weird.
That was
a weird spot in history.
Sega was not mentioning Shadow coming back, even though they specifically said we have all these characters, Shadow's in there, but great, look, Metal Sonic's back. We're like, whoa, Metal Sonic. You know, all the advertisements were like, you know, Metal Sonic was back, and Shadow, you know, he's like, what? Until you play the game.
Anyways, my number 4.
Number 3.
Number 4.
You're number 3.
4.
I thought Heroes was 4.
No, Heroes is 5. My number 4 is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood.
Oh.
Because they brought back his personality.
Did they?
The Dark Brotherhood gave you the option to choose how Sonic responds to things. Most of the time, you can choose to respond to things how he would have responded to things in his adventure personality. Now he's this goody two-shoes that helps everybody out. Before, he used to have an attitude, you know? He used to snap at people. He was a good guy, sure, but he had an attitude. That's what I'm so happy that Chronicles brought out. Like, there's this one line where Tails was telling him to, you know, he's like, you might be impatient, Sonic, but it'd be good to ask questions to find out everything you need. And you could say, so Tails, what's your favorite color? You know, that's something I can picture Sonic saying. As opposed to, thanks Tails, I really needed to know that. That's not Sonic. So Dark Brotherhood is definitely up there.
Gameplay wise though?
Gameplay was actually really good. It felt just like any other RPG. It felt a lot like how Mega Man Command Mission felt. Mm-hmm. It was kind of just your copy-pasted RPG stuff, but it was still pretty good. It wasn't bad, per se, you know. Well, number 3 on my list...
We'll talk about that later, because I really didn't like them, to be honest.
So number 3 on my list is Sonic Unleashed, the 360 and PS3 version, because it was amazingly fast. I died so many times, and the only other games that I can say that dying is a thing to brag about is Devil May Cry 3 and the Ninja Gaiden series and the early Mega Man series. And I'm so happy that Unleashed brought back actual challenge to the Sonic games. I think that's what was lacking from it. Challenge, not because the game is broken like in Sonic 06. That's why that game was hard to play. But challenge because the player needs to have quick reflexes. Actual intended challenge. And on the PS3 and 360 versions, you can download extra levels to make that basically a hard mode. It's really nice. The only thing I didn't like about it was the pace. I mean, I didn't hate the Werehog per se. I didn't like the pace of the Werehog levels. They were annoying. It was extremely slow. You'd spend like 2 or 3 minutes on a regular Sonic level, and then you'd spend a good 20 minutes on the other Werehog levels. It's incredibly annoying. The content was about 50-50, which levels were Sonic and which one were Werehog, but you ended up playing more Werehog because of the pace of the level. It was incredibly annoying.
Especially for the Wii version. Just letting everyone know.
Yeah.
You play the Werehog level for a half hour, and that's bad. You think that's bad? I had to play 6 levels at a time with just the Werehog, with no Sonic breaks in the middle. And that was like, where's Sonic, you know? The fighting system was all LR for the Wii version. I'm not really sure how it was for 360.
It was quick attacks, which was X, and then strong attacks, which was Y. It was a mix, you know, basically Street Fighter combos, that kind of a deal. Number 2 is, of course, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Woo! It took an already great game and made it better, as you said. It took all the things, not only just from Sonic Adventure 1, but it also took things from its Sonic Adventure 2 Dreamcast counterpart and made it better, especially the Chow raising system. I would say that is the sole reason this game is so high on my list, if at all. The gameplay was nice. It had its share of bugs that were slightly annoying at times when trying to cheat the levels. But all in all, the gameplay was nice. The real hooking point for me was the Chow system. I found myself, after beating the games, I got all A's. I got all A's on the Green Hill. I found it not that challenging anymore, real boring. I found myself going to a Green Forest to just rack up my Chow Chaos Drives.
It felt like a separate game altogether.
It did.
Chow Karate, that was awesome.
That was insane.
Yeah.
And I think they even added Chow Racings. I mean, don't quote me on that. They might just be the same number as the Dreamcast version, but I think there are extra Chow races too, more than the Dreamcast version. And then my number 1 is Mega Collection.
Mega Collection.
Mega Collection Plus, actually, because it had more games for one. It had a whole bunch of games. Mega Collection just had the Genesis games. Mega Collection Plus had those and the Game Gear games. About some of the Game Gear games. I'm an old school fan. I love, if this were an all-time favorites list, my favorite game is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And that happens to be in Mega Collection, so that's why it's my favorite.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hypersonic, and the only thing, and I say the only thing that I didn't like about it was Super Tails. That's a topic for another time.
We'll have plenty of views. Maybe some in-depth look at the high and low points of the Sonic franchise. We'll see what we can come up with. See what we can find, and hopefully maybe even toss in an interview. Oh, how's that sound?
Yes, that would be nice. Are there going to be any fan interviews anytime soon?
We shall see, depending if there are fans, which you can see by going to our Facebook page by searching Sterling vs. Podcast. Check there for updates and whatnot. Post suggestions. Check out the discussions. Any final words, Lance?
Next week, we're going to talk about what we know about the DS compilation, and we're going to talk about what we can think about what's going to be coming up with Needle Mouse, our theories, and the comment section is always great for the listeners to put their theories, and we might even get into some of the fan-made games if there's enough time.
Yep.
So, everybody get your friends together. Let's talk about Sonic next week.
See you guys.
See you later.